today I am going to be doing a used book haul. I wasn't really planning on getting more books. I have said before that I don't have any more space on my bookshelves, but it is what it is. I was actually looking for some chick books that I could share with my family members because their English level is not that high. They cannot read in English. And then I ended up just buying like way too many books. But it's okay. It's okay. So let's get right to it. I actually realized that Czech books these days are more expensive than English books for some reason. So it's actually cheaper for me to buy English books, and even better, English used books. They're super cheap. So I like a good deal, you know. Alright, let's begin. So the first book that I have here is a non-fiction book, and this is not the only non-fiction book that I have got. So this is The Silk Roads by Peter Frankopan, and I actually have read his second book, which is about the new Silk Roads, but I felt like there was a few context missing, like every once in a while, and I was like, I think I should read his first book first. So I was super excited when I found this book in the used bookstore. So as you can see, it looks like it was read before, but I don't mind that at all. There are also some like pages inside. It talks about the cultures of different countries like China, Mongolia. I just forgot the term in English. Yeah, and I don't know how broad this is. Let me read you the back. Let's see. For centuries, fame and fortune were to be found in the West, in the new world of the Americas. Today it is the East which calls out to those in search of riches and adventure. Sweeping right across Central Asia and deep into China and India, a region that once took center stage is again rising to dominate global politics, commerce, and culture. A major reassessment of world history, The Silk Roads is a dazzling exploration of the forces that have driven the rise and fall of empires, determined the flow of ideas and goods, and now heralding a new dawn in international affairs. So, yeah, I'm excited to read this. I think the rain is stopping a little bit, but it's still raining heavily. So I'm really excited to read this book. You know, one thing that I think a lot of people forget is that, you know, the East used to be the richest part of the world, and the West rose to power like pretty recently, and now everybody is just like, oh no, what's happening? But in a way, it's kind of like coming back to the East again, like it's returning. It's nothing new, you know. Alright, so yeah, that's the Silk Roads, a new history of the world. Alright, I think there might be a storm outside, I'm not really sure. Alright, let's move on. The next book that I have here, give me a second, is this really old ass book. I think this was published in like 2012 or something. So it's not that old, I just mean like the edition looks like a bit beaten up. But this is a few excerpts from that book, and I was just like, what the hell? Because this book is incredibly, or seems like it is incredibly racist, and it kind of blows my mind how people love this book when it first came out. So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna see what's up, and I'm gonna read it and do a review on my booktube channel that I still haven't created yet. And I got this like old version of the book because it was really cheap, you know, I didn't want to spend too much money on it. But yeah, I've heard, you know, people criticizing it that Rainbow Rowell didn't do like basically any research on the characters. You know, if you write characters from certain cultures, you kind of need to look into the culture. Even like the name Park, you know, Park is not a Korean first name, it's last name. So it just, we'll see, you know. To be fair, I've opened up this book at a random page, and I've already seen like some questionable stuff, literally like random page, and then I opened up the book again at a random page, and again I've seen some questionable stuff. So yeah, I'm really surprised at how many people love this book when it first came out. So let me read you the back. Eleanor is the new girl in town, and with her chaotic family life, her mismatched clothes and unruly red hair, she couldn't stick out more if she tried. Oh my god, give me a break, here we go, like like the typical, oh she's so quirky, she doesn't fit in BS. Alright, I already don't like this book and I haven't even started reading it. Park is the boy at the back of the bus. Black t-shirts, headphones, head in a book. He thinks he's made himself invisible, but not to Eleanor, never to Eleanor. God. Slowly, steadily, through late night conversations and an ever-growing stack of mixtapes, Eleanor and Park fall for each other. They fall in love the way you do the first time when you're young and you feel as if you have nothing and everything to lose. Oh, and then it says, wait a minute. It says not suitable for younger readers, but I think maybe they're talking about like the second book, or is it? Wait a minute, now I'm confused. Whatever. So yeah, I think this book will be interesting to read. I kind of feel like this book will be like everything wrong that you can write about interracial relationships. Yeah, because I've seen, again, very questionable stuff about this book. And as someone who looks very white and also is in an interracial relationship, and I also got so much stuff, like so much BS from my close white friends, I'm gonna be really mad reading this book, I can already tell. Alright, let's move on. The next books I wasn't planning to buy, but then I saw that they have them in the used bookstore, and I was like, I need to buy it because I can't just left those babies there. So it's actually The Well of Accession, Mistborn Book 2, and The Hero of Ages, Mistborn Book 3. And I have actually read these books already, but if I would ever reread them, which I probably will, because there's just so much stuff that I have to go back to and like look for clues, I would definitely read it in English this time. So I got them for really cheap. They didn't have the first book, unfortunately. They only had the second book and the third book, and I believe that this like wasn't even read, but it was really cheap, so I like that a lot. One thing that I don't like about these like paperbacks, or maybe it was red, it looks maybe red. One thing that I don't like about these paperbacks is that the spine usually gets broken. So that's a bummer, but it is what it is. And I also got the fourth book that I'm currently reading right now. And one thing that I just hate is that these are the same editions, right? These are the older editions. However, they don't match in size. is so different compared to the first books, which makes sense. Like, that was the intention. I think Brandon Sanderson was thinking about making 3 trilogies that are technically in the same world, but they're set in different time periods. And so the 4th book is set in more like 20th century New York, like early 20th century. Kind of, obviously it's a fantasy world, but the amount of technology is like early 20th century, I would say maybe 19th century. And I think their 4th book in the 2nd trilogy technically, and then the last trilogy should be set in a futuristic world, which I think that's interesting because usually you have like fantasy in a medieval world, and then you have sci-fi and dystopian in a futuristic world, but never a fantasy in a futuristic world, because there's not really a place for magic anymore, it's only technology, right? So I think that's gonna be really interesting. Definitely looking forward to the last trilogy. I like the 2nd trilogy. Again, it's 4 books, but I like it. It's interesting. It's different, definitely, because we're not really used to having like guns in fantasy settings, and I think the author is doing a good job in kind of incorporating the magic into the world with technology. So yeah, I like it. It's just that I didn't really connect with the characters just yet, and I'm halfway through the first book, so let's see, if I will connect with them at some point. I kind of feel like, because this one only has like 300 pages, and the first trilogy, they usually have about like 600. I kind of feel like it's a little rushed, like especially the first book, it seems a little rushed, and more people have said this too, like it seems a little like kind of off in a way, and also you can't really like those characters in just like a 300 page span. I don't know, I'm rambling too much, let's move on. So then I have some checkbooks that were translated from English. So the first one is Amadeus by Yuval Noah Harari. I don't know, Harari, I'm not sure about how you pronounce his name. So this is a non-fiction book. Again, this was translated from English. Let me see. So in English, yeah, it's called Amadeus, A Brief History of Tomorrow. And it basically talks about different concepts that the humanity will have to deal in the future. I'm really interested in reading that. I have read only good things about this book, so I think it deals with like biotechnology and artificial intelligence, hunger, war, like different interesting concepts. So I'm really excited to read this, and actually have bought this book in Czech because I wanted to like share it with my grandpa. So yeah, just really interesting stuff, really. So yeah, I can't really read you the book because it's in Czech. It doesn't really say like what it's about, so yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say about this book. Alright, let's move on. The next book that I have here is, let me see if the English, I actually don't know the English title of this book. God damn it. The next book that I have here is called The Dark Forest, and again I got this in Czech translated version because it was really cheap. Again, it's used already. So this is a second book of a sci-fi series. It's research. He is Chinese, by the way, just so you would know. And I think this book won like a couple of awards. I don't know if this book specifically, or his first book, or his other series. It doesn't really say here. But I don't know, like, what's it about? Again, this is the second book, so I don't really want to like spoil myself. I have got the first book already. I haven't gotten to it yet. I got it pretty recently. But yeah, I'm excited to read it. So let's do some sounds with it too. I always forget to make sounds. I'm always rambling. I really like when people tap on the spine. It's so tingly to me. Alright, my camera just died, so I'm not really sure where was I, but let's just move on to the next book, I guess. So then I got this is the, I believe, Queen of Flames by Laura Sebastian, and this is the third book in the series already. Oh, does it? It doesn't say. Oh no, it's Ember Queen. There you go. It's called Ember Queen in English. So by Laura Sebastian, and this is the third book in a YA fantasy series. And I do have the other two books. I haven't read them yet. I'm planning on doing that pretty soon. I actually wouldn't have got this book if it wasn't used, because you know, I knew that if I want to buy it now, somebody else is gonna buy it, and then I'm not gonna have anything new. So again, it was really cheap, so that's why I got it. I believe that it's about a princess who is fighting for her throne. There is some magic involved. I think maybe she uses fire, if I'm not mistaken. She can like control fire. Again, there's not much that I can tell you about it, so yeah. The Ember Queen. Again, the first book is called The Ash Princess, and I think it's like a typical YA. They actually really like that. Used to be like my favorite trope and genre, like YA fantasy with like a lost princess fighting for a throne. Like that used to be like my all-time favorite trope. And I'm slowly like growing out of that, but it's okay. I'll still, you know, read it. Alright. So yeah, let's move on. Alright, so then I got two books here that are only in Czech, basically. So let me just show them to you. I don't know what genre this is, so they're by Ladislav Sipura, and well, like both of them. And like, let me know what genre is this when somebody like travels and writes about it. I really don't know, and I call myself a reader. So these books are basically, you know, I will not talk about them like too much, but they're basically about this man walking through different countries. So the first one, he walks through Turkey and Israel on foot or by foot. The second one, he walks through Nepal and China. I started reading actually the first book, and already, like, because this is like the latest edition, and he wrote this when he was 20, and when I first opened it, there was like a note from the author that he would completely like write it in a and see if I can actually finish it, because like it annoyed me a little bit. Alright, so that will be it for today's video. I have one more book haul planned. I'll post it in maybe like next week or like 2 weeks from now on. I do have a lot of books coming in the mail. Yeah, that book haul will be like I don't know, 11 books or something maybe. So yeah, you can look forward to that. And after that, I will stop doing book hauls because it's getting out of hand a little bit. Alright, that will be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.